Hello everyone, I'm the Peculiar Pisces and welcome to my channel. Today is Monday, April 15th, 2024, and this is Flosstube video number 14. I told you guys last week that I was going to be having surgery, and I did. I've got this, it's not like a cast, but it's hard on this underneath, and it's the soft here. So I get this off on Monday next week, the 22nd. I get off on the 22nd. And I have no idea if I'm going to be doing a video next week simply because I'm not sure if I'm going to be up to stitching. Like right now, I'm still not sure if I can, hold and pull the needle. And I certainly can't, twist my arm and maneuver it like I normally can. And this is big and clumsy and kind of bulky. So I just I don't know if I'm going to get to any stitching until after it comes off, and I do have some stitching updates to show you today, so it was perfect to do a video. Um, I'll have to see for sure, but I'm just going to probably say probably not next week. I will start it off with I got some stitching mail this week. I told you I hinted a little bit, I think, last week. I ended up getting, uh, I have alerts set up on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari. The last time I looked at Poshmark, there wasn't really anything cross stitch related on it or nothing that I deemed good. So I've not opened that app in a hot minute. But Mercari, I do spend a lot of time on. I also have been selling some of my indie nail polishes on Mercari, so I've been, checking that out more because right now I've got almost a $30 credit. Hang on just a moment. Sorry about that. The dog wanted to go outside. So I have like almost a $30 credit on Mercari from selling my indie nail polishes. And, I've just been checking it out to see, what I can find. So on Mercari specifically, I have several alerts set up. I've got a Teresa Wentzler CrossStitch set up. I've got Nora Corbett. I've also got a Mirabilia. I've got a Bella Filipina. And then I've got a Paula Vaughn because I've been seeing some of her stuff around lately. And I'm just like, it's really cute. So like I have an alert set up for Paula Vaughn. I'm just not sure if I'm going to start collecting her or not. I'm still kind of on the fence, but I look at what's, on there. And then I have an alert set up for just cross stitch leaflets because sometimes people just, want to get rid of like a whole bunch at a time and they don't want to like divvy it up and stuff. And on Facebook Marketplace, I've gotten kind of lucky and I've gotten a couple of Teresa Wentzlers that way. But last week, I had an alert set up for Teresa Wentzler, and I noticed there were two dragon patterns that were on Mercari. And I had them in my watch list, and I was just like, once we get that paycheck, I can then justify buying them. And they were $50. And they're kind of worth it because of the dragons and they're so hard to find. Well, like I think the other week, like halfway through the week, the seller sent out an offer to those that had it on their watch list and they were selling it for like 45 instead of 50. So I jumped on it. And then like later the seller was like, "Hey, just so you know, I do have another by this, same designer." And I was like, "It's on my watch list. I just have to wait for payday." Well, my husband and I go to bingo like every Friday now. And we've been managing to get kind of lucky. So, like, I had this bingo money, like, burning a hole in my wallet, essentially. So, I went ahead and bought the second dragon piece. And then I purchased a DVD off of 123 Stitch. So the first dragon piece that I got, and I got it for 45 instead of 50, is the Storyteller. And I am just ecstatic because this is one that's on my wish list. This one is in the volume 2 of the fantasy collection. And at this point, I think I'm just gonna have to piecemeal it, buy these leaflets, and not even worry about finding the book collection, because I saw one crop up on I think it was books.com or something, and they wanted like $950 for it. And I was like, yeah, okay. Good luck selling that. But anyway, I got this and I felt like I got it for a steal because I got it for cheaper than what she was selling it for. And looking for this on eBay, I mean, people really are selling it for 60, 70, 80, 90, and $100. Um, just because it's a Teresa Wentzler dragon and they're essentially off the market. You can buy Teresa Wentzler patterns on patternsonline.com, but there are no dragons on there. From what I understand on Reddit a few years ago, she removed all of the dragons, and I'm not really sure why. There was one of them said that it had something to do with leisure arts, and then another post said that it had something to do about religion. So I'm really not sure the deal on it. It's just very hard to find Teresa Wentzler um, dragons. But I love how it gives you the instructions on the specialty stitches and even some of the outlining, the back stitching. But I just, like, I was looking over it over the weekend and I was trying to identify like where the specialty stitches are throughout here and stuff. And I was doing that with both the patterns, but I was just like, I got a dragon. So the second one that I got from the same seller is also a dragon, and this one is the Minstrel. Again, super hard to find. This one I don't believe is in the volume 2 fantasy collection. It was just, one that she put out, but um it's it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And again, I was looking through it and trying to identify like where the specialty stitches go and like where the beads go and stuff. I was like poring over the pattern. So then the third thing that I got is just CrossStitch 1991 to 2000 DVD. And I specifically got it because I knew that that was kind of Teresa Wentzler's like heydays of being in the magazine, essentially. And hold on a second. So like I went through the DVD and I went through like every folder because they have the years divided up by folders. And then the way that it mostly was up until 2000 was that it was like a bi-monthly magazine. I'm not sure if it's monthly now. But at least for these, it was all like bi-monthly, and then each month, each year, there was a special one that's like all Christmas ornaments. So as far as Teresa Wentzler go, I've identified at least 30 of the magazine issues that had stuff in. And it was like, I've now got the Lily Maiden, I've got the Fruit Bell Pool, and that was like across 3 different magazines. I've got the Oriental Poppies, I've got In the Garden, I've got the Schoolhouse, I've got the Delft Flowers, the Old Barn, A Touch of Holly. I've got Noah's Ark, but I already actually had that one in like the big leaflet form because I found that at a thrift store. I've got the Tea and Tarts, which is this one right here on the cover of the DVD. The Birdhouse Belpool Gabriel Persian Floral, English Garden Welcome, Tapestry Cat, Nativity Ornament, Celtic Cross, and Daylilies. So, I mean, it's just, I'm like, I now have so many Teresa Wentzlers, and they're on a DVD. At some point, I'm probably going to go back to 123 Stitch and get the other years up to it because there's just so much amazingness in these DVDs that's not just specific to Teresa Wentzler. Um, but like one of the categories that I do my projects in is, Blackwork or sampler. And now I have years worth of samplers at my fingertips that I don't have to, I don't have to purchase a thing. I don't have to worry about like, is this a true sampler? Is this what the judges are going to be looking for the fair? So like I'm excited. I was like, I'm just going to start from issue number 1, January, February 1991, and pick whatever the sampler is and do that sampler. And what I might do is just stitch everything from that magazine just to be like, hey, it's not going to waste. I didn't just buy it for Teresa Wentzler's. So that's my small haul, I guess you could say. Um, and then I told you, next Monday I get the bandages off. Um, Thursday of that week, uh, me, my husband, and my kids are flying home to visit my family. And there is a stitchery store in Grantsville, Maryland called Four Seasons Stitchery that I am just like that place was open when I was in high school and living with my grandma. And if I didn't buy one of my patterns from there, I know that I bought my monk's cloth patterns from them. And I'm just like, I want to go back there now as an adult to see what great finds I can find. And I also know that I need to purchase some fabric for that Mirabilia that's after I finish this Teresa Wentzler. So it's like I'm so excited to go home, just to go to the stitching, not just to go to the stitching store, but to kind of go to the stitching store. It's also like the last weekend for this huge festival that my small town does. And like, it's not a big deal, but my kids have never been to it. And so, like I want to take them to the various things and learn about the maple making process and all the crazy stuff that my hometown does for the weekend of the maple festival. So it's, and most of my family haven't even met my youngest, and the last time they met my oldest she was like 6 months old. So family really hasn't gotten the chance to meet and hang out with the kids. So moving on, because I kind of got a little rambly there. A pass finish, and this is like the last one that's cross stitch that I have in my possession. This one I finished in December 2023. I finished it like right after Christmas. And if I don't get the Teresa Wentzler done in time for the fair, this is my backup that I'll have framed and I'll submit. I wouldn't submit it now because it would be in the same category as the Teresa Wentzler, but this was an Elsa Williams kit that was in my stash for so long. It was called Asian Splendor. And I specifically did this one to sort of get me prepared to do Blackwork because I was going to be doing a big Blackwork piece for the fair. But let me sort of give you a look. And on this one, I backstitched every single square, with the exception of where the blackwork is, because in the pattern it said to go over 2. But it had gold metallic, which we all know what it's like working with the metallic. And so see, I hid my signature underneath the vase. I charted out, and I have like an alphabet font book. And so I, charted out my name and 2023. So yeah, so I finished this like right after Christmas last year. So if the Teresa Wentzler is not done in time, this is what I'm going to submit to the fair. I still need to wash it. I still need to iron it. And then I would have to have it framed. But this was an Elsa Williams kit that I had forever. And it was called Asian Splendor. Before I started working on this, when I would try to like Google it, the only pictures that I could find of it is somebody had stitched the flowers in the vase and then just didn't do the blackwork. So if you Google any pictures, you'll probably end up seeing my Reddit posts as I was working on this. So that's my backup. All right, so let's start. Hang on, now the dog wants back in. All right, dog is back in. So we will start with my Teresa Wentzler. I am working on the Castle. This is project number 1 that I'm lovingly calling Favorite Designer. And overall, I'm only going to switch between 3 designers. I am doing the Castle, which is on the cover of the Best of the Fantasy collection. I love this book because of how many different designs there are. Like specifically, they have the day and the night, this one and this one, and then they have the Rapunzel and the Cinderella, and then of course they have the unicorn and the Pegasus, which I love, and then the Castle sampler, which I wonder if it's the same castle that the dragon is attacking here. Actually, I don't know if the dragon is attacking or if the dragon is protecting, but either way, I wanted my piece to kind of have like an apocalyptic destruction vibe. I dyed the fabric myself. This is 16 count fabric that I hand dyed. Now, I mixed up 3 colors. I mixed up fiery red, illuminating yellow, and a smoky gray. Now, to mix the red, it used a little bit of yellow. And I didn't quite have the right color yellow, and I couldn't find it anywhere local. So I just used what yellows I could find to make the illuminating yellow, and I used that same yellow in the red. And then to make the smoky gray color, it mixed jet black and like forest green, I think is the dye color. But okay, so I did get a little bit of work done. Oh, that lighting. Let me turn on the overhead light. Okay, I think that helped a little bit, maybe not. So I did get a little bit of work done. I came down and I filled in the grass that's down here into this rock. So this is the bottom left edge of the picture. And then I also worked on this, finishing the stomach, the belly area. So from here on, I still have to finish the foot, but the rest is rocks and some plant life sprinkled in between. So this is 16 count hand-dyed fabric that I dyed myself using RIT dyes, 2/1. I don't know if I've spoken about it before, but I really like these ballpoint needles. I would not necessarily recommend you doing a Teresa Wentzler with them, especially on aida with the amount of splitting the aida that I'm doing, but using 28 count or higher and, you know, going over 2, I would definitely recommend using the ballpoint. I like them. I like how it just helps kind of guide the tip into the holes. This is the only one that I'm using the ballpoint needles on anyway. But again, this is the Castle by Teresa Wentzler. Okay, now, project number 2 is the Blackwork or Sampler piece. I am doing a Blackwork by Practical Blackwork. It is called Pentecost. And I reprinted out this front page. It's very detailed, very intricate. The work that I got done on it this time is I finished out this cross piece up here, and then I did all the outlines, and then I started up here. So that was what I worked on this time. And I'm almost halfway done. This is the entire piece. So as soon as I finish out this section, I'll be halfway. And then I can decide which sampler I'm going to go ahead and do. Like I said, I think I'm going to pick the January 1991 issue of just CrossStitch and do the sampler that's in there. I believe, but I'm not sure because I didn't really look over everything, but I believe that every issue they would have a sampler. Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you my times on those. For Teresa Wentzler's The Castle, I got to work on it 1 hour and 35 minutes last week. So I pretty much only worked on it Monday. I did not work on it Tuesday, the night before my surgery, because the more it was getting closer to bedtime, the more anxious I was getting. And I just didn't want to mess up. So overall, the total time for that project is 105 hours, 49 minutes, and 56 seconds. For the Blackwork piece, I got to work on it 1 hour and 53 minutes and 38 seconds, and so I worked on that on Tuesday. And this brings my total for this project to 61 hours, 42 minutes, and 32 seconds. So my third project is Heaven and Earth Designs Fae Risque No Background by Amy Brown. I am not using the called for DMC. I decided to do a color conversion into blue. And this is the picture that I printed off of Pattern Keeper. I actually took a screenshot of the mock-up and then printed out the screenshot. I don't know if there's a better way to do that, but that's how I did it. So this is a mock-up with the color changes that I've made. This is my own blue conversion, and for the most part, I mostly use different blues. There are a few that I had to duplicate the same color on. So it's not quite 80 colors. I'd say it's probably 78, 75, 76, maybe 70, 77, 78. So this one, I'm just going to leave it on my hoop because it's just a lot easier. Okay, so the progress that I did is just, I'm working on bringing up. So this section over here, I might have finished out over here too, but it's just, I'm just coming up until I get to the end of the page. So this was page 10, this was page 9, this is page 5 that I'm working on. This is 22 count hand dyed fabric 2/1. For me, 22 count is like my limit on doing 2/1 for it. Anything after that's going to be like 2/2. There are a few areas where it's a little thicker and a little hard to get the needle through, and it's mainly because of parking. This is my first time parking. There are probably much easier ways to do it than I am, but this works for me. And I'm using Pattern Keeper, and it's so nice. It's so nice. It really is. So this again is Fae Risque by Amy Brown, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this one I did 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 49 seconds, bringing the total for this project to 95 hours, 41 minutes, and 48 seconds. And then the project that I actually worked on the most this week is project number 4, my Stashbuster piece. Now, the reason that I worked on it the most was because I ended up taking it to the hospital with me for while I was waiting. Oh, there's my scissors. Oh, I might have lost my scissors for this kit. Oh, nope, they're where they're supposed to be. Never mind. My needles, I have a little needle box. When we went to Estes Park, I got a box of mints up there because it's just a really pretty picture. So now that the mints have all been eaten, I keep my spare needles in there. So I got to work on this Monday while I was waiting for the kids to get out of school, and I got to work on it Tuesday when I was waiting for the kids to get out of school, as well as, well, that's weird. Okay. As well as the after school activity. So I think, no, you're not gonna be able to see it well. I finished out the leaf that was down here, and I did the little leaf and stuff down here, and then I stopped, and then I went back up to the top, and I'm starting to work on the leaf and stuff up there, and so I'll just probably work out to my right edge and down. So I didn't put where my needle was supposed to come through last. So the needle is just stuck through the back. There we go. That's better. So like I finished up this area, I finished up this leaf, and I did the stuff down here and stopped, and then shifted my Q-snap and started in up here, filling it in. So I did end up working on this on Monday, and I worked on this on Tuesday. And I took this with me to the hospital to work on while I was waiting, because my doctor wanted me to be there at 7 a.m. and my surgery was scheduled for 9. And so I would have just been sitting there completely bored out of my mind, unless I like read a book or something. And so I took my cross stitch with me, and I got so many compliments on it while everybody like was coming into my room to check on me and talk with me and all that stuff. And then that was the last of it. So for this one, I did put in an hour, 51 minutes, and 44 seconds total. So it brings the total project time to 32 hours, 2 minutes, and 52 seconds. So yeah, this one got the most work, and it's because it's smaller, and I didn't want anything to happen or get on it. I didn't want anything to happen or get on any of the other ones. And they're all like, I couldn't take Fae Risque with me. That the hoop that's on is not changing. And like I could have taken the Teresa Wentzler, or I could have taken the Blackwork, but I believe the Teresa Wentzler's on like a 9-inch hoop, and the Blackwork is on I think it's the 11 by 11. So I think this is like 6 by 6, so it's the smaller one. So yeah, that was my progress. It was a little bit of progress, but I did have progress. Next week on Monday, I don't think I'm going to film, because unless I just like go through my stash and just show you everything that I have in my stash, which would be kind of boring. I don't think that I'll film next week. And then, as I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Monday we'll fly back from Pennsylvania. So I won't record on Monday either. If I do a video for that week, it would be Tuesday, April 30th. Because once this comes off and I can stitch again, I might end up taking the stash piece with me for something to work on, or I might take something new, just take a new one so that I can just start it on the plane and work on it while we're flying and during my spare time at my grandparents' house. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, next week I won't do a video next week. So I'll see you in 2 weeks, possibly on April 30th. If not, I'll just do like a real quick little, hey, I'm still alive. Sorry, there was no stitch updates. Maybe something like that. And we'll see. But as of now, no video for April 22nd for that week. So I'll plan on April 30th. So I will see you in 2 weeks.